Hi, I'm Jesse, I'm with Cyclone, and we're here in London today to cover the Stop the Trial protest, following the CAS report that indicated that there is insufficient evidence to prove the long-term benefit of puberty blockers. The lobby has pushed hard to now have Tavistock, the clinic that gives gender-affirming treatments, to now experiment puberty blockers on children. This is where we are right now. So this has caused massive uproar on sex-based rights campaigners, people who want to protect children from what is a very fanatical ideology. Now, the vibe that I'm getting here is really if you're a grown adult and you want to live your life how you want to live it, that's totally fine. But when it comes to experimenting on children, that's when we have a big problem. Children are too young to make these decisions, like they're too young to have sex, like they're too young to drink, like they're too young to vote, let alone take life-altering medical treatment. So we're going to be here speaking to people on the protest. No one here is wearing a mask. Everybody in the counter demonstration is wearing a mask, which makes me quite apprehensive to go and interview them. So we're going to start here. Talk to people why they're here, what they're doing here, and given how hot a topic it is, it's a very courageous thing for ordinary people to come up to a demonstration like this and make their voices heard. Because, in my view, this has been the opinion of the silent majority against a very vocal minority. So let's get talking to some people.
And the person that I want to introduce now is famous, important, being a voice.
It's a very diverse process, different people from different ideas, ideologies, different backgrounds, here for all sorts of different reasons. I think we're also just very much united on the welfare of children. But I think the counter-protesters also believe that they're here for the welfare of what they refer to as trans kids. What do you have to say to that?
In my school, I was brought into that ideology, and I've seen firsthand what it's done. I was in secondary school, so basically there was like an LGBT club, and that's where it was really promoted, and I was a big part of that. I didn't believe in it, but I just felt like I had to be part of it in order to be part of the group. So, which is why it's important for me to come out here today and show kids and teenagers what they're being taught isn't.
And what has been the consequence for young people who have bought into this and have taken very life-altering choices? Well, what has been the impact on those children, on those youths that you've seen with your own eyes?
They've got mental illness as it is, and they've made life-changing decision, and I just think that they're being told by people that they're something that they're not, and that they shouldn't accept themselves, and that, it's really tragic.
Yeah. I mean, I've also made the point that actually the majority of people on this protest would also say that what you want to do over the age of 16, over the age of 18, like whatever, should be your choice. Just leave the kids alone. Yeah. And I think everybody's followed that line. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Just that with kids who are under 16, it's a lot harder for them to make those choices because they're being told something, and when they're being referred to these gender-affirming clinics, they've been told that if they're a boy, they've been told that they're actually a girl, and it's really bad because they still don't know much about the world, and they haven't lived for it very long, and they've been told something that I don't think they quite understand.
Yeah. Thank you very much for coming to speak to us. Have a lovely rest of the day. Nice one for braving the cold and the wind.
Yeah.
Cheers, thank you. Take care, have a good one. I'm here with another protester in the group, Nonika. Nonika, lovely to meet you. So, what are you doing here today?
I am standing for the future of the human race and raising my voice in protest at medical experiments on children suffering from mental health issues.
Yeah, I think that's the key thing, right? It's children being experimented on like this. I mean, some people would say that, children, they somehow know that they're a different gender and they need to undergo this treatment. What do you say to that?
The reason we call children is because they are not mature, and they have not yet matured into adults. The process of human development goes from infancy through childhood, and then one becomes pubescent, and through adolescence develops into a fully functioning adult. Children are lacking in fully developed brains, and they are not able to understand things like long-term consequences. So you cannot prepare a child of pubescent age by explaining to them long-term consequences, because they don't understand them. In the same way that a 7-year-old cannot judge speed and distance. They just can't. And that's why you will see them standing on the side of the road looking until there's no traffic, because their little brain knows that they can't process speed and distance, so they just stand there till there's nothing to process. Teenagers, however, do not know that they can't understand long-term consequences, because they can't understand long-term consequences. So you cannot explain that to somebody. They will only be able to understand it retrospectively. And as we can see from the vast amount of detransitioners who were medicated and operated on in adolescence, and the massive regret, the key thing they all say is, I didn't understand. And because it's not possible for them to understand, because they are not able, they don't possess the cognition, which is why we do not allow them the ability to consent to life-changing things. It's plain and simple.
I think the counter-protesters would then argue that puberty blockers are in fact reversible. What would you have to say to that?
It's just a lie, a blatant lie, as is much of the queer theory agenda. Puberty blockers are not reversible, and actually it's the same drug they use to chemically castrate rapists. So they just talk shit. Sorry.
Nonika, thanks so much for coming to speak to us, and thank you for coming out here today and braving the cold and wind.
It's been fab. Thank you.
Okay, so we're now on the other side of the road. We're going to have a chat with the counter demonstrators, as I believe that, as apprehensive as I am about it, I believe that both sides need hearing out. I believe there's always a right of reply. Oddly enough, we're seeing the Palestine protesters for the hunger strikers happen to set up their protest right next to that one. You can see Palestine flags, Lebanon flags right next to the trans flags. So I don't know, is that coincidence? Let's go find out. Hi guys, I'm with Cyclone Media. We just want to get some interviews. No? Okay, no? Okay. Hi guys, I'm with Cyclone Media. We're here doing interviews with people who want to talk about why you're here. Cyclone Media, we're an independent media outlet. No? Okay, no worries. No one seems to want to talk. Hi there, would you be right to do an interview?
I'm not called.
Right, okay.
They're saying like you, independent.
Yeah.
So, but they won't talk to us.
Sorry?
They won't speak to you. I have tried in the past, they won't speak to you.
Okay.
I'm saying that to you now. I put this and I won't speak to you at all.
Okay, that's fine. No one wants to speak. Hi there, would you like to say a few, we're going to do interviews with people on a counter demonstration. Would you be interested in speaking to us?
What platform do you run?
We're Cyclone Media, we're an independent media platform.
Are you pro-Palestine?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. We're fighting the same fight.
Okay.
Are you asking about that protest or this protest?
I mean, are they the same one, or?
So, over there is the LGB Alliance, who are a TERF group who are mobilizing here to protest the puberty blocker trial that is taking place in there. Trans Kids Deserve Better are here, who are frankly also an anti-Zionist organization and understand that it is one struggle, one fight, Palestine trans rights. Our struggles are interconnected. This is a joint struggle process.
Okay.
They mobilized here earlier to stop the TERF group, who frankly, Zionists are in their crowd. Like, they don't like either of these groups here. So this group took that space to stop that protest from coming here.
Yeah.
Both these groups hate Wes Streeting as well. Wes Streeting denies access to puberty blockers, denies access to trans healthcare for children and adults, frankly, at this point. It's like a multiple year wait list to access healthcare through the NHS for trans people. The same Wes Streeting enabling and abetting the genocide in Gaza on behalf of the genocidal Labour government. Wes Streeting hurts both of us. Wes Streeting kills kids, be it trans kids here, be it children in Palestine, by his enablement of the genocidal Labour government.
Well, you're getting no argument for me in terms of the Labour government and their complicity in the genocide of the Palestinian people. I suppose, but when I had conversations with people over on that side, it's never, Palestine's never come up. But what their argument is that children, whatever you want to do above the age of 16 or 18, you should feel free to do it. But children are too young to make these decisions.
For an adult to have you know what the wait list times for a first consultation for gender affirming care in the UK is? It's different based on it's above 10 years, frankly. Yeah. On average. In some places it's 20. Yeah. To have a first consultation. You're well into being an adult, but it's just not happening. And it's because of the same Labour government that weaponizes trans rights, that weaponize
almost told you if I don't like that attitude towards me.
We are fighting the same fight. I can't say much more than that. One of the hunger strikers is trans. Yeah. This is trans and queer people understand that there is no liberation for some of us without liberation for all of us.
But I suppose, a waiting list for adults who want that treatment is one thing, but to have this experiment for young children is another thing, and that's what these people are here protesting against.
These people want to deny access to healthcare to children. That's the statement. These people want to deny access to healthcare to children. Puberty blockers are safe. Cis kids get given puberty blockers if they have precocious puberty. It is proven safe.
But what about the medical documentation that puberty blockers reduce bone density, stunt neurodevelopment?
Puberty blockers don't do shit like that. Come on, man.
Well, that's what the medical documentation that backs the CAS report says.
The CAS report is deemed medical negligence by multiple medical bodies across the world.
Such as?
In the same way that it was again funded by the Tories and the Labour government to get this rushed through without consulting trans people. We know that the Labour government does not actually listen to the whims of the actual people in the country. Most people don't give a shit about trans people, but they're spun up as a political football, which frankly endangers the lives of kids. I'm done with this now. One struggle, one fight. Palestine trans rights.
Thank you for speaking to us. Well, there you go. I think at least we found one person willing to speak to us. I'm not entirely convinced, and I'm not sure that they are entirely convinced. But I'm glad we had some conversation, some dialogue.
it's his job now to come forward, which will do something.
Hi there. Hi, so I am now here with...
Karina.
Hi Karina, so what brought you here today?
Well, I'm against the trial. I don't think that children should be experimented on. It's akin to vivisection on animals. I think it's wrong. So, yeah.
No, fair play. So I did actually interview the people on the other side, as I believe that we need to give people the right of reply. And they say that there's no long-term impact of puberty blockers and that they're reversible. What do you have to say to that?
I think that they're misinformed. There's a lot of studies out there that prove that these puberty blockers are harmful and are irreversible as well. And at the end of the day, the children experiencing these confused emotions about their sex, their bodies aren't physically sick, so they don't need to be medically interfered with or given, some of these drugs that they treat like prostate cancer in men, obviously, or they can be given to sex offenders to castrate them, and they want to give that to children just because they think they might be born wrong. So I just think that there's never an excuse to give a healthy child drugs to change their body.
And if that bodily change, do you think that would have any positive impact on their mental health if they are indeed, as they say, trans kids?
I suppose if it did, it would be short term, because the effect, you cannot escape your human biology. And then eventually they would probably come to their senses and realise, I've made a terrible mistake. I was a child and I couldn't consent. Why has this happened to me? And I think the best thing to do is to listen to detransitioners who have been through, had the puberty blockers and even gone on to the wrong sex hormones, and see how they feel about how they were let. It's basically like there's no other medical condition that a patient could go to the doctor and demand the prescription pad and say, I want this and I need this, and if you don't give it to me, I'm going to perhaps hurt myself, because a doctor wouldn't do that. It's about talking to the child and saying, why do you feel this way, and getting to the bottom of that problem, because often these children do have problems. I'm just really strongly against it, and I'm just here to voice my opinion and say no, I don't want it to happen, and I want to do everything I can to make it stop and keep children safe.
Well, I hear you, and I think that that threat of suicide is almost to shut the debate down. Yeah. Like when we're over on that counter-protest, we saw people masked up. Well, here it's been no masks, all dialogue. Yeah. But on the other side, unfortunately, it has been masks. Chants like "shut the f up" and there's no debate. What do you think breeds that attitude?
Well, I think if we take it back to somebody saying, if you do this, I'm going to hurt myself. That is from an abuser's playbook. If you do this, I'm going to hurt myself. Of course, we don't want that person to hurt themselves, but we can't. Where will it end? We're going to let them hurt themselves. But yeah, in terms of if they had the courage of their conviction, they wouldn't be wearing masks. They would be engaging and standing by their idea and saying, no, we believe in it, but they don't. Because it just falls apart when you go through reason and rationale.
Karina, thank you very much for talking to us, and thank you for braving the cold and wind. Have a lovely day. Take care. Cheers. Thank you. So I think that really wraps up our day. I think we might do some more footage as the two crowds seem to be now confronting each other now that the speeches are done and over with. My mind's been made up before I even got to the protest, and it's still made up now. I'm glad we had some good dialogue on both sides. Like I said, I think this side is the side without the masks and the ones who are willing to talk, or the most willing to talk. I am pleasantly surprised, however, that I managed to find at least one person on the counter demonstration who was willing to talk. And the only reason I found one person is because you can hear the rhetoric from the counter demonstration. It's shut the F up, no debate. So that we're completely shutting down any debate on whether children should be experimented on with these drugs. It is mental. But again, I'm very happy that someone talked to us, and I thought we did have a good conversation. You know, I disagree with that person, and that person certainly disagreed with me. But, you know, that's why we're out here doing it. We are given a right to reply. So, yeah, more to come.